You pretty much become what you believe. You know, if I spend 90% of my day just producing music and I do that for a year straight, regardless of if I have a side job or not, if I'm spending most of my time making music, the universe comes in and puts a spotlight on me. This is all you do, this is kind of your calling. You gotta really trust the universe and trust yourself, and eventually you will become the thing that you think of the most, right?
Oh, yo, that's so
like,
true.
It makes you, like, watch how it feels. Okay. It sucks. I hate that. Do it to me. Look how good it feels. No, I'm gonna edit it.
You ready?
I'm not going in there. I got a weapon.
3, 2, 1. That's good stuff. Family.
Do you trim it?
This comb is made of Amazonian wood. I'm really proud of this comb.
I'm excited for you.
It's 2 sides too.
Shit.
Night number 2, we did this last night here in the same room. It's fucking incredible, man. Bushwick? Yeah. That's what's up. I'm in Willie B. Okay. Yeah, right over there by the ferry.
It's like him.
Yeah.
He's never been out of the house. I have another boy.
Yeah, man, I can tell, bro. Yo, I got some beard oil for you, man. I should work on him. You know what I'm saying?
Gravy music.
Shuffle right now. Saw that? That's the Filipino shuffle right there, bro.
Yeah, so my name is Simon Sarita. I've been producing for 10 years. I'm getting more into the artist shit. I've been commissioned by a music library to create just a bunch of songs to pitch for sync licensing for like TV and film.
Well, some of you guys aren't subscribed, but how many subscribers on YouTube now? I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
300,000.
300,000 subscribers on YouTube. It's just fucking great. It's amazing to watch. All the content is so quality. Man, it's just so sick, man. So sick. Creating is original, then you're gonna have to either hire a lawyer to write up a contract or create some kind of contract that you could legally bind to the product you're selling. And you would include it in, you know, the folder, in the zip file that you're selling, or you know, send it to people to sign off on if they're gonna use the samples. But honestly, that's like the best bet, is to just create your clauses and your standards, put it in a contract, and just, you know, not a contract, but like an agreement form, basically saying if you use these samples, then A, B, C, D, E, F, G, blah, 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 blah. You know, obviously there's like the royalty-free stuff and then sample clearance. Really, it's just customizable at this point. For me personally, I always do, you know, the master clearance thing. So if I, like, let's say you use one of my samples, then we would literally split, you know, 50-50, all the publishing, all that stuff. And then even when I'm making beats too, if I'm sampling someone else and we get a placement, I'm always gonna offer 50% to the sample creator or the person who made the melody. Perfect, I love that question. I think the best strategy, whether you're an artist or a producer, the #1 best strategy that I think all of us do anyway, without even knowing that we're doing it, is to mimic. Like, the best thing you can do in the beginning is mimic. Like, copy your favorite shit. Recreate a house song that, like, you love, right? And for me, like, when I was coming up, it was J Dilla, right? So I was just like copying Dilla. And like, when I was studying this guy, I'm like learning how to swing my drums. I'm learning how to program my bass, and I'm doing my bass like J Dilla. And then after a while, doing that so many times every day, it sort of became like a skill set. And I naturally kind of like flipped it in my own way. And like, when I did my research, like every single amazing producer, artist out there, when you listen to their interviews and you talk to them, they say, yeah, I was just a version of whatever I was copying. So like Michael Jackson, for instance, he's on record saying that he was just mimicking James Brown. And yeah, that's it, right? Or who else? What did he say? And Stevie, right? Yeah, they kind of like, he was like, those are his inspirations. Everyone from Chris Brown to The Weeknd, they're like, I'm just trying to be MJ. So I think the best thing you can do is just like throw your ego out and say, you know what, like let me just study the people I love, and then over time you're gonna become better and you're gonna flip it in your own way. And then what was the second question again?
Try to have a sound because of so much.
So I always say, your sound is whatever you love. That's your sound.
Yeah.
Like just do what you love. You know, like when you look at Kendrick's albums, none of those albums sound the same. Like Good Kid, Mad City is different from Pimp Butterfly. Damn is different from Pimp Butterfly. Like that's how the greats do it, you know? So yeah, don't box yourself in. Just go with what you fuck with and that's your sound. You know, so, but already know I fuck with your shit. I could hear the fun in the studio. I felt like I was there. Yeah, I could feel that energy, man. You guys were fucked up that night. I always say, find an artist that you click with and believe in and make music with, that you enjoy. I can tell you guys are friends, you know what I mean, first and foremost. That's like the best case scenario, especially when you're coming up. And then for an artist, I always tell them, find a producer that that you can build a relationship with, that enjoys your music, believes in you. So you guys are definitely like have all the components. I love the idea, one song per month. I think that's great. Make sure it's on all platforms. Make sure you're replying to every single comment, every fan, and then also do some research on your songs as well. Meaning in 2020, let's say you drop 12 songs. So in December of 2020, go back to we'll pick a platform, we'll say Spotify, because their analytics are pretty tight. Go to Spotify and look at your analytics for the year and then see which song performed the best. And you say, oh shit, in the month of May, that song performed the highest. And then you see it, and then now you're looking into analytics. Okay, well this song had 50,000 streams and all the other ones only had 5,000. And then you start digging deeper and you say, out of those 50,000, 70% of those streams came from Los Angeles. Oh shit, I wonder why. Then you find out that there was a playlist based in Los Angeles that added that song onto the thing. And then now you can like find out who runs that playlist, hit them up and say, yo, we have more music, appreciate you showing love. Now you're starting to build momentum and relationships with the people on Spotify. So that's the value you get from dropping music, is you get to experiment. It's all an experiment. You're dropping music, you're seeing what works, what doesn't, you're switching your strategy. So yeah, I just keep that in mind. Yeah, dope, clap it up, let's go. Yes, give it up. Man, I feel like I just robbed a bodega. Like in fucking Bed-Stuy, right there on fucking Myrtle and DeKalb and shit.
Kind of get the network out there.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we have so much production and less like connection.
How much connecting have you done like online?
I gotta be honest with you, it's
not as much.
That's where we kind of slide.
Yeah, I mean, that's really the missing component, is like the online thing, which is like really everything. Right now, Facebook ads are very cheap.
Yeah.
And I think, I agree with what everyone is talking about in terms of Facebook ads like increasing in price. I don't think they're gonna be cheap like this forever. So like right now is like the perfect time to do research and start implementing Facebook ads, because it's super powerful. Facebook has a database of like hundreds of millions of people at this point, and they have data points for every person.
Right.
This person enjoys Star Wars, this person enjoys this, and so now you can narrow down your like-minded fans. You can take like an Anderson .Paak like-minded audience of like 1 million people and spend, you know, I don't know, $500, $1,000 per month, target those people on Facebook, and then like you can target your video to those people. So the first thing, being hard on yourself. I think the being hard on yourself is just like a fear. It's like you telling yourself that people aren't gonna like it. That's really where it comes from, is you're believing that like, damn, are people gonna like this? And I think the trick is to program your mind to not believe that, and program your mind to do the opposite. Program your mind to believe that people will like it because you like it, right? So then when you start to think like that over time, you're gonna start to create a habit of just liking all the stuff you do. And that's not in an egotistical way at all. That's just like a pure, like, I love music, like I really love this chord or this beat or whatever it is, right? Like, don't worry about other people's opinions on anything, because every opinion is super subjective, right? Like, we talked about Michael Jackson earlier, right? We could say that Michael Jackson is probably the most popular household name and probably like one of the greatest, if not the greatest musician of all time, right? So there's 7 billion people on Earth. I would say probably like 4 or 5 billion people know Michael Jackson, right? Out of those 5 billion people, I can guarantee you that 2 or 3 billion of them hate Michael Jackson, like his music. Like, I don't really like his music. I don't know you know what I mean? But then there's another billion people who love it and praise him. So like, fuck the people that don't like it and pay attention to the people that do. That's all that matters.
And reach the dream, call me Freddy, are you ready? Go and get the scale, it's about to get heavy, it's deadly, don't you shake me up pretty.
You guys are so disciplined. It goes from like 10 to like 0. It's like, rah!
Okay, so if you just want to say your name and what you do.
Okay.
Yo, Ashley's trying to go home, man.
Okay, I'm sorry, Ashley. My
No, the box box.
sorry. Like,
Swear to God.
stop. She's trying to go. Hey.
Oh, sorry guys, sorry.
Hey, no shit.
Pass the aux tonight was trash. Very, very disappointed in the outcome. A good time.
Oh, it was terrible.
My dude, my guy over here was incredible, man.
Yeah, appreciate that.